Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brad, Supercoach Pro. Today we are doing the round 10 team review. So as you can see there, I scored 2,629 for the week. And yeah, actually climbed up a bit in ranking. So I moved up almost 7,000 spots into 8,192. I'm going to use some more trades this week. Team values 13.5 mil just about. So pretty decent. And yeah, got inside the top 10K. Happy about that. So overall, it's a top 4% score, looks like. So take that. Just want to hit the top 1%, and then I'll be pretty pleased about that. So it's been a good comeback so far. And yeah, looking forward to see what the remainder of the season has. So as always, start off in the back line for the team review. I missed a couple games here and there, so I do apologise. I think it's the Sunday games I missed again, but it is what it is. So Zeeble 88, I saw some of this scoring happening, and he scored a lot of his points in the first half, and then nothing in the last half really. So that's a little bit disappointing. But we paid 350k for him at the start of the year after round 2, and now he's 600k. That's bloody crazy. I wouldn't be buying him now. Stewart 91, first down game since bringing him back into the side. So yeah, Freo have a good history of keeping some defenders quiet. So I wasn't too surprised on that score when I seen it. Day cost 100. Lucky he didn't get suspension because I saw it on Footy Fan, I think it was, or Fan Footy, that he had the TV screen, meaning he'd been on report. And yeah, just a solid 100 from him. So not too bad there. Sheasel 112. Yeah, saw a bit of this game. He was flicked around everywhere, and it concerned me because he started off forward, and then I was saying that he's going to start off forward for the game, and then he went into midfield and somehow got a good score. But he really worries me week to week because they do want to play him forward in the future, I think, and I just don't know you're going to get consistent scoring in the back end of the season. So he might be one we flick in the round 15 buy that they have or whatnot. So not sure. Will Day is really concerning at this point too. He's one I'd love to flick. Obviously not during the buys, but maybe after his buy. If I have enough trades up my sleeve, would like to get rid of him because he just looks like a fake primo, been tagged out of games really easily. We did pay 450 for him, so we're not hugely concerned. But if you paid up for this bloke any more than that, you wouldn't be too pleased at the moment. So not loving it. He seems to play like one quarter and then doesn't play for second and third quarter and plays the last quarter because the tag gets released. So yeah, really not a fan of Will Day at the moment. He was one of the risks that I probably shouldn't have got. He's got 97, 84, 88, and 74 for me. So the 3-round average isn't looking great. He's got a 3-round average of 82. So may as well have just held a rookie and let them score for me, to be honest. And then last minute, I loopholed Weddle because I seen him go off the chart 114. I was actually watching what was I watching? The Office, I think, with the Misso at the time, and I saw that he was 114. I thought, wow, I'm looping his score on before the Carlton game starts because I'm not going to risk Stocker trying to get past the 114. And as it was, Stocker got his season average of 75. So I gained almost 40 points there, I think 39 points roughly. On that move there, and getting 100 from a rookie is absolutely amazing. So I love that from Weddle, and he looked really good from the glimpses I'd seen of that game. So yeah, I love that pick, and it's probably not too late to bring him in my honest opinion. Bontempelli, yeah, a little bit annoying. He's sort of slowing up. I know it sounds really arrogant saying that a 112 is poor, but I'm sort of expecting 120s each week from Bont, and same with Clary. He's done a hammy, so it could be anywhere from a week to 4. I think just purely based on the buys, long story short, I'll be holding him. I think I have enough rookies and whatnot to cover him, and I might lose 100 points over the 3 or 4 weeks. But I think my team's in a strong enough position where I've actually got pretty good rookies to cover, and I've got a couple of moves I'm going to do throughout the buys anyway that I'm pretty sure will keep me by without having to try to buy him back in at 660. And hopefully everyone jumps off and he becomes a little bit of a pod. So, yeah, I'm holding for that reason too. Like he's going to be a great pod when everyone runs out of trades and kills all their trades during the buys and can't bring him back in. So looking forward to that. And same with Josh Kelly. I know it's not ideal to hope that players get injured for Supercoach fantasy points and stuff. But you kind of this time of year, you're hoping all a bit of luck goes your way, and teams do trade out these little injuries. So yeah, I'm banking a little bit on just good luck coming my way and bad luck happening the other way. But this is why you sort of don't get injury players like Josh Kelly, because every year he's always injured. I don't think he's played a full season since. I think he's only played one full season anyway. So anyway, he's not in my side for that reason. But he's not even in my side, so I don't know why I'm talking about him. But Josh Dunkley, he looks like a VC option week to week now, hitting some form. This was kind of what we expected in our forward line originally. Him getting these really big numbers. 153 is fantastic. Laird bounced back, 145. I think he's sort of there was a potential for him to be rested, but Hinge got subbed out pretty early, so it was forced Laird to play a whole game for once, which is nice. So 145 from him, back to his best, and probably at a really good price if you want to pick him up now. And Tom Green, he's been pretty good. Started this pick as well. And 119 is pretty solid. And this is the thing I've learned this season: is there's no point paying 700,000 for a player. Like I started a Laird for 700,000, he's dropped 100k. So all these players, you should probably get more primos that are value over anything else, and that's the main take this year is all these guys that are like 650, 660 and getting that peak price like Dawson's, they're going to have a couple bad games here and there. Even English has dropped down in price now, so I'm not going to get worried out of picks anymore and go, oh no, I have to grab that sort of player. I don't think I've really done that this season apart from chasing Clary at 650. So that's the main thing, and you're going to look at my trade in a second after I do this team review and think I'm stupid, but I've done this for years of getting form premiums after the buys and having really good F7s and M9 covers, which I prefer to have through a 1 to 2 week injury in round 16 and trading out a primo for 2 weeks. I'd rather just have good depth. So that is my aim for this year. So if you see speculative trades, it will probably do with roll and CBAs and stuff like that. So got to calculate this one pretty steadily from here on out, and this is one of them too. Merritt looked great. Richmond don't tag. I said it every week. Like as a Tigers supporter, I know we just don't tag. I'll touch on Dimmer at the end of my video. And yeah, Merritt was one of them. I thought with Shield being laid out too, he was a no-brainer. He scores well against Richmond in general, and I just thought he's going to get plenty of CBAs, plenty of opportunity to make it his. And Dreamtime's a big game, and he did. So yeah, it was a good pick, and I even captained him this week as well for that many points is insane. So got him for his highest score of the round. Before that, he was averaging 103. And his biggest score before that was only a 134. So unbelievable pick. And he only had 98 minutes on ground. That's insane. So points per minute would have been crazy. So I really love that pick. I don't think he's much of a pod. Oh, no, he actually is. My bad. I spoke too soon. He's only 9% of size. That's actually crazy. But I've got more of a pod to talk about later. Pogs 108. So he played well again, bounced back. Man, that Zach guy in my comments from a month ago, I was bragging about getting Cogs over Butters, and now I feel like Zach is finally probably laughing at the moment. So, Zach, if you want to comment and tell me Butters is better again, you're more than welcome after that conversation we had about a month and a half ago, maybe. So, pretty funny. But, yeah, Cogs is going to be playing pretty well the next 3 weeks anyway, with the Kelly news of him being out for 4 weeks. So, I probably would trade Josh Kelly if I had him because he's so bloody injury prone. So yeah, I love Cogs. Only paid $4.89 for him or something like that anyway, and he's been averaging pretty well on my side, but it would have been handy to get Butters instead. But another thing I did well this season is hold on to rookies to cash them out a little bit more than most people have, and Will Ashcroft was the obvious for me. He had that bad score of 37, but I know at the Gabba he scores really well. If you look at separating venue scores, it's just a no-brainer to hold a guy like that plays really well at home. 105, 75, 103, 97, 124. He doesn't play at home until Sydney, but he's got probably a pretty good match up against Adelaide and then Hawthorn. So, yeah, I really like that pick. And I'll probably try to hold Ashcroft and Sheasel, because I've got enough cash gen I've worked out to make my upgrades anyway, and I think I've got about 4 upgrades to do. So I'd rather keep those guys as my M9s and stuff like that if I can, because I really feel like they're valuable picks, even though you can get good cash for them. Excuse me. Baker, I went to loop, but no point looping a 61. Johnson sub, so that's whatever. And Constable will probably be my loop all year. So a bit annoying about a little bit of cash gen dead there, and Robert's not coming back. So it's whatever. Marshall 126, great game from him again. I can't believe he's actually 600,000, so that's actually pretty good for him. I know weeks ago we were thinking about trading him out, and he's just really bounced back since then. And English 118 as well. So these two are pretty common ruck setups. And yeah, I probably should have held Darcy. I was saying to SDS the other day, should have held Sean Darcy instead of trading him sideways to English after a couple of rounds when he had that bad score in him with that Jackson split. So Tickle, probably another dead rookie for me, but don't mind it for an R3 cover, not a bad thing. I'll probably grab that Sydney Ruckman if Hickey's not back after his bye, and use the cash that way, and that way I can use a forward ruck cover and not grab Madden. I'd rather actually grab a player throughout the season who's going to play some games here and there than a complete dead rookie, and I don't think Madden will even get named. I know he's back to fitness, but I'd rather pay an extra 23 grand for that Sydney Ruckman that's just lost my mind. And again, 118 for Toronto. I don't think he's really VC option or C option. To be honest, I think there's better picks in your side. But at least you know he's going to be pretty consistent most of the week. So glad I started him. And 96 to Gould, and he got tagged. I just never really looked like he was going to do more than a ton. So, yeah, annoying that North do tags. I mean, there's a couple of times I think they tagged Sinclair. I think it was Paul Curtis may have, but I don't know who tagged Gould, and I actually can't remember. So North tagging is really annoying for some players. And then Rosie 140. I was actually kind of low-key thinking about VCing this bloke, but somehow glad I didn't anyway because Merritt went better. But wow, just Port Adelaide look really good this season, don't they? So Rosie, another great performance from him, only averaging 106, but yeah, just definitely a breakout sort of pick this year. And Radaglia, since fielding him, he's been scoring me 75s. So far, hasn't given me a bad score, I don't think, on field, and you'll take that. Now, I brought in Merritt and Hobbs because I needed to get rid of Mills and Hopper. Now, Hobbs is an absolute pod. He's in like 200 sides or 300 sides potentially. And I didn't have enough cash. I had like enough cash to do like a Lockie Whitfield and a Ridley or a Lockie Whitfield and a Dom Sheed. And all those picks really went well, the ones I was considering. But I wanted a captain option. I didn't want to grab 2 mid-prices that I would potentially have to get rid of. So I went 1 mid-price and 1 premium that I don't have to upgrade again. But I also grabbed Merritt for the fact that at that price, he was the best sort of VCC option for the rest of the season instead of going for like a Brayshaw that I'm not too hot on. And players like that around him. So Hobbs, for me, just with the midfield of no Parish and stuff like that. Excuse me again. Just had kebabs for dinner. He's got West Coast, North Melbourne, and Carlton next 3. Scored a 90 of 84-minute game time. He had a free kick in the first quarter against him, which only allowed him like 10 points. So it really scaled him back negatively. He had like 6 touches, I think, in the first quarter. And yeah, for some reason his points were going up just because that 1 free kick. I'm not sure if that 1 free kick led to goal, but it hindered his scoring. So I think he actually could have turned up was it not for that free kick against. But yeah, I think he'll actually be a pretty decent scorer. I think he'll hit these 80, 90s. And without Parish there, I think he'll do pretty well with the upcoming fixture. So I'm not sure what I'm expecting for this pick. He's in 495 team, so he's a 0% size. It's actually pretty insane. I've never bought in a pot like this, so it's a bit of a fun pick this year, to be honest. I can probably just even keep him as F7. I'm really hot on these decent F7s and just upgrading my team as cheap as I can to get points on field before everybody else does that way. And then Mitchell 82, I did a Twitter poll thank goodness for Twitter. And I just sort of put it out there. I was like, Mitchell or Simpson. And, it made more sense to go Mitchell against West Coast rather than Simpson against Freo. And as it was, fielded the right rookie. And that's what's brilliant about Twitter. Sometimes these Supercoach pages you didn't even think were non-existent on Facebook, but there are on Twitter. And some really interesting statistics and polls you put up there really help your side as well. And a little bit of extra knowledge you just don't really think about. So now my speculative pick is pretty interesting. I'm getting rid of Baker for once. Now I'm doing this purely because I need to upgrade a midfield spot. I've already got one spot I need to do in the back line and one in the forward line and about 2 in the midfield or maybe 3, something like that, depending what your take is on Ashcroft. So I think Simpson gets dropped this week and Simpson's got to break even at 59. Now, I don't endorse going early on players, but I'm going early on forward this week, so I don't want to double downgrade next week. So next week I'll probably grab a player like Wardlaw or something like that. I just worried about his hamstrings and things like that with soft tissue injury, especially that young. Now my computer has seemed to be frozen for whatever reason. So I'll just wait for that to load. And I'm getting a phone call at the same time, so it completely threw me off if you're wondering why I just sort of disconnected my brain. So we're going to grab in Eddie forward. He played along the wings. If you look at his heat map, had 21 possessions, and I think he'll get picked for another couple games. Now, I don't care because people brought in Drury early, and at least Ford's shown better scoring capability. He's been in the system a couple of years as well. So we're going early on forward. Now, we've only got 448 to spend, and there is a few options. I'm not going to talk about the other options because you're going to think I'm completely nuts. But even my Whitfield, Ridley, and Sheed sort of mid-prices, they all scored really well this week. So I do know what I'm talking about. I mean, Whitfield scored 103. Has got like a 4-round average of about 100 and something. So I really like that at that 480 mark. And then I was going to grab Sheed, who's been scoring really well as well. And they're just sort of sneaky picks. Like, you can get decent enough players you can average, anywhere between 90 to 105. And you're just looking at the back half of their season. You're not really looking at what they've already done. You're just looking for a change in how they're going at the moment. So for me, I think I saw here. I could have sworn I must have gone past him. I'm too busy talking and not being able to multitask here. I'll move my screen on my face and maybe I can see what's going on. Close that. My internet just hates doing videos for some reason. Good Wi-Fi, but I don't know why. It just hates recording on Zoom. Come on. Now we're going to pick Wines. It's a speculative move, but albeit that Oliver is out, I think I just need to bring this bloke in ASAP. I think he can do a job for us. And for some reason, here he is. I'm thinking he was higher than what he was. So maybe I didn't click 3-round average. Yep, I didn't. Just look like an idiot for a good minute there, which is fine, whatever. And we've got $5,000. So I could have grabbed the Humphrey and stuff like that, but I've got limited trades to keep getting cash gen in. And I don't think Humphrey can do it for the rest of the season. So I don't need to make any more cash gen. I've already got players like Stocker, I need a Carl. Radigalira, I need a Carl. Mitchell, I need a Carl. So I don't really want to be culling too many rookies at the same time. And I feel like Humphrey, I'd have to trade out at the same time as those other blokes I've just mentioned because he's sort of a 2-3 week prospect of culling. He's not like a 6-week project where I can sort of wait for. And we bring in Wines for Oliver. So we're not really losing a primo. Because I could get rid of Oliver and someone else, but I can't really get 2 primos for him unless I go early on culling a decent rookie. So I'd rather just replace him each week and upgrade around him. I don't have any cover, so I don't expect any of these guys to be out anyway. It's pretty rare that there's a laid out of a premium that you haven't heard any rumours about anyway. So we will field the team pretty much like this. Not a fan of fielding Radaglia each week, but you just got to do it. And Weddle, I don't know. I don't know who to field out of Weddle and Stocker, to be honest with you. But I'll work out some sort of loop here anyway. For now, it's just hypothetical state. Put on Stocker because he's more consistent. But I would love to loop Weddle's score if he goes off. Maybe I'll chuck Sheasel forward or something like that. But you sort of can't because of the Hawthorn game. So I'll have a think about this in my round preview, and then I'll confirm if my trades are the ones I'm going through with as of tonight. And just to touch on why I'm grabbing Wines, in case you think it just looks like a really ugly pick, he had a knee issue and barely had a preseason, and that screams red flag. But I just watched him in the wet. Now, some bloke on Twitter said, maybe it was on Facebook, said, that was a really contested game. Won't be many wet games. And I just wrote back, mate, we're going into winter. Like June is next week, literally. So I saw it is wet season for the footy. He's got Richmond, who he scores really well against, and we're going to get trounced this week. Hawthorn, and then Dogs, who scores well against too. So 110 his last three, 89, 93, 110. I think he just looks back to the Wines of old. He's got a decent fixture. Like he plays Richmond twice from here on out. Still plays the Hawthorn. He's got Gold Coast in here as well, and just some decent matchups. So I really like him going forward. Even at Adelaide Oval, he's got some good size as well. So I think he's the guy I bring in. I've looked at players like Ridley. He's 414k, cheap D6. You know he's going to average you about 90 from here on out with their soft fixture easily, even maybe 95. And even break even to 97 next week, I might even look at it just to get premiums on field quicker and hopefully have a full team of primos just before the actual buys finish is the plan. So I'm just going to trade aggressively and hopefully come out of the buys with maybe 6 trades left, but I should have enough rookie cover as well for me to be okay for 1 to 2 week injuries from here on out. So that is the plan. He's still got Brisbane, Adelaide, Dogs, West Coast, Essendon, Melbourne at home. So more games at home than what he has away. He's only got 4 more away games and the rest at home. So I really like this pick. Hoping he can go probably 100 to 105 from here. And the reason why I'm bringing him in this week, his break even's 51. And I think he goes like 130 plus against Richmond if he's enough time on ground for him anyway. So that is the team going into it. It looks a little bit ugly somewhat with that midfield. Maybe it's just the colours, but maybe it's just Wines being in there just doesn't look appealing. He's in 1% of sides. He's another pod. And I just want to be a little bit different this year. I'm sick of having everyone having the same bloody players. Like Wines is a pod, then Hobbs is a pod. Stock is still a pod. So I got a pod in each line. So it doesn't look so mediocre like everybody else's copy and paste team. And I want to kind of get a little bit of different pods at the end of the season too to sort of fly in the rankings and see if I can get a little bit of a unique side happening and yeah, just try to risk it. I'm not going to play safe anymore. 8,000 rank. I'm not going to make top 100, but I have high hopes for top 1,000 and make it interesting for you guys too by getting these pods and bringing in pods I don't mind watching. I don't mind watching Wines be butcher and get, contested ball time, and I don't mind watching the rise of Hobbs as well. So, just quick take on VC and C. I'm actually probably going to VC Merritt. I know there's an O'Neill tag coming. And I'll probably captain Rosie against Richmond. So if my internet will allow me to do anything, I can actually show you guys. This internet is driving me insane. And we'll probably leave it something like this. And we'll hope that Johnson actually gets named for a full game just in case we need an emergency cover. So for me, Teakle I'll hold for now. I can loophole him. So not a bad hold. Hopefully he gets a game at some point because he seems like a bad rookie. They'll trade in again. I shouldn't trade guys that are in 200k. I did it with Amani and now Teakle, and they've just burnt me. So There's probably the other reason why I'm not hot on Humphrey or Atkins at those prices is because every time I buy a player around 200k or just over 200k, it just never works out for me. And I just can't do it to myself because, like I said, I've already got enough cash gen. Got Stocker there, that's one. Chikotta 2, Weddle 3. I want to keep Ashcroft, so I'm not going to count him. Tickle 4, Mitchell 5, 6 Radagalier. So I can use those 6 players. And then if I need to, I can cut into a Hobbs, Ashcroft. But I'm probably reluctant to more keep Sheasel and Ashcroft in their respective lines for the rest of the season as cover, or at least on bench somewhat. So that is the end of the video. Thanks, guys, again for watching. Sorry for the long explanations. And this is the reason why I'm bringing in Wines. His CBAs aren't too bad. So it's just his time on ground, which is really affecting his output. So hopefully the Travis Boak experiment is out, and it's just between Butters, Wines, Horn Francis, and Rosé. So that is the end of the video. Leave it there. Hopefully you guys have a good one. Just let me know what your trade plans are below, VC and C options, all the rest. So I'll catch you on the preview. Probably actually tomorrow after the teams are announced, or potentially Friday. So sorry for the late review. Things are happening now. I've got a lot on my plate at the moment. So peace out, guys. Catch ya.